Hello viewers, welcome to Costa Blanca. I can't believe what I found in a week of riding out here. It is a cycling paradise and easily trumps Girona and Mallorca as a destination in the winter and off season for us roadies. So here's some reason why I think it's a cycling paradise and why you should book a holiday out here right now. The big reason that this area has become attractive for so many road cyclists from amateur to pro level in the winter, the off season, is because the weather, the climate is lovely. Perfect blue sky. It's not super warm, it's still quite early, so a bit chilly, got the gilet on and some layers, but it will get warmer later. Temperatures are typically around 16 degrees Celsius, and during my week there, the weather ranged from a chilly 12 degrees, needing warmers, arm warmers and knee warmers, up to about 20 degrees by the end of the week when it felt really quite warm. And wearing shorts and short sleeve jerseys in January just feels wrong, but it feels so good as well. A good way to top up your vitamin D, working your tan, and great motivation for a season ahead. Definitely a good way to overcome the winter blues. And then are the roads, which are some of the best roads I've ridden anywhere in the world. Not like the best, but they are definitely up there with the best. And here are two reasons why. First, the roads are very well maintained. It's so smooth compared to my roads back home. Just makes riding a road bike feel enjoyable, where it's usually a struggle overcoming the drag and the bumpy roads. But here the bike just glides along the road, just feels dreamy. It's what road cycling is all about and how good it should feel all the time. The second is the variety of the roads as well. From mountain climbs to flatter roads to rolling, undulating roads. You can do a very hilly mountainous day with easily over 3,000 meters of climbing, or do an easier or faster day on flatter roads. And it's nice to have a combination of big climbs, you're really getting the miles in on your climbing legs, but then some flatter rolling sections where you get to speed up and feel quick to not constantly groveling. You're either climbing, descending, doing the stuff in between. There's a nice variety, and that variety of riding is something I really enjoy. In the same ride, or you can go out for a purposeful hilly ride or a flatter ride, depending on your requirements, your fitness, or your training focus. It's also a beautiful landscape as well, and quite impressive in how the roads flow through the hills and valleys. They have a good way of building roads with hairpins and sweeping bends that you feel part of the landscape in a really nice way. Make no mistake, there is a lot of climbing on offer here, but the climbs aren't massive and they're not epic, and the gradients are never that severe. Typically they're around 5 to 6%, so only a few bits where it's in double figures, and that's very short as well. Not like where I ride here, everything's steep in double figures all the time. And this makes the climbing accessible to a wide range of abilities and fitness levels, and clearly attractive to pros who use a steady gradient for doing intervals. When the gradient is fairly consistent, you can do your FTP test, or a 20-minute or a 5-minute on-off session, or you can just spin up the climbs and enjoy the views and not really put yourself under too much stress. And it's a choice compared to other destinations that for me make it so attractive and appealing. And I'm no natural born climber at all, but I do love a mountain climb that isn't too steep, with hairpins and like bends, and lots of climbs like this in Calpe. And my favourite one in particular, and I'm probably saying it wrong, is Port du Toudons from Sella. All told, from the coast to the top, it's about 20k of climbing, but all at a gentle gradient, smooth tarmac and countless hairpins, and you go to a summit of just over 1,000 meters. It's as nice as climbing gets, and often climbing is a struggle, it's a battle against weight and gravity, but here the climbing is actually enjoyable. And the other reason Calpe trumps other destinations is it's quiet. The roads are empty. You got the whole place to yourself. Like right now, the road I'm on, deserted. Has been for ages. And I climbed just now, about 45 minutes, didn't see one single car. You really do see more cyclists than cars, which is quite something to behold. There are some hot spots though, certain climbs that definitely feel like you stumble on a sportive or a race, but the place is still big enough to find quiet roads. So I found a route on my last day with 30 kilometers of riding, and I barely saw any cyclists or cars at all, just me on my own. And it felt amazing to have that sort of tranquility and peacefulness just flowing through the countryside on these lovely mountain roads, up, down, and just idyllic, just so nice, tranquil, definitely the word for the riding out there. So while it's a relatively small area on a map, you can still find your own space very easily indeed. I also found it very safe as well. I had one car all week that tooted its horn, but nearly every driver was patient. They waited until it's safe to pass. The complete opposite to riding in the UK, where every driver has no time at all to waste waiting for a safe overtake. They overtake you on the crest of a hill or blind bend, but in Calpe, in that region, yeah, very patient. They wait till it's safe, and then you give it a wave and they wave back. Nobody's in a rush. They're all very chilled. It's very nice indeed. And then the icing on the cake, perhaps, a sprinkle of magic dust for keen amateur racing cyclists like us, the sheer number of pros based in this region in the winter. And literally every day I saw several teams out training and riders, pros in small groups or solo training. I've never experienced anything like this ever, even in Mallorca, Tenerife, which are popular in the off season as well. But it felt like all the pros were there doing their training, riding, and it's quite cool to be out riding. You see pros here and there. I don't recognise half of them, to be honest, but I recognise a few. Mathieu van der Poel, pretty sure I saw Tom Pidcock, and yeah, a few others out there doing their training, and it kind of cool, rubbing shoulders, not literally, with pros doing their winter training. And as a result, you can find yourself riding with some of the pros or strong amateurs throughout the course of the route or the week. And they don't mind, provided you don't ride like a dick, it's all cool. You can get on the back of a little group and ride along with them. Don't get in the way, they're doing their job, but they don't mind you sitting on their wheel, getting a nice tow. But the few times I got on the back of a group, even though they're training and not like actually racing, they're still pretty damn quick. And definitely an eye-opening experience of just how much quicker they are and how much speed they carry through the corners and down the descents in a tight formation as well. That was very eye-opening indeed. And definitely a difference between being a quick amateur group out there and a quick professional group. The riding style very different, very quick, but it's a tight formation of the pro team riders. That's very eye-opening indeed. And it's fair to say the level of riding out there is very high as well. Most people are clearly very into their riding and racing, out there training for racing. So very comfortable riding in close proximity, which makes it feel very safe if you are in a group of people that don't speak the same language as you. There's that sort of unspoken acknowledgement of who you are as a rider when you're in a group of people from around the world. A week in Calpe can be pretty affordable as well. There are cheap flights from the UK or Northern Europe, and 2 hours later, you're landing in Alicante, the main airport for the region. There's also lots of infrastructure as well, from apartments that are cheap as you want to hotels depending on your budget and preference, if you're going on your own, with mates, or taking your family or partner with you. And it's definitely not a ghost town in the off season like some places can be. And then the riding is all easily accessible as well. I stayed in a nice hotel in Calpe right on the beach, and the ride out to the good stuff is pretty short and pretty painless as well. Even the coastal road, the main road out, is pretty stunning on its own, with views of the ocean on one side, and then you're onto a climb and heading inland in no time at all. It's also an easy place to navigate as well. And after a few days of following a route, perhaps you'll find you know the area well enough to ride without a map at all. You know where a few key towns are to pass through, and you make out the route as you go. It really is very easy indeed. So you're not wasting time with junk miles riding through an industrial estate to battle out of town. The ride out of town is pretty short and pretty painless, and you're straight into the good stuff. So yeah, no junk miles, and it's just quality riding all the way. I've been on this road for what feels like hours and I haven't seen a single soul. Car, cyclist, animal, just me. And the landscape and the weather, which is fantastic, perfect. What an amazing place. So definitely lots of reasons to visit Calpe. If you've been, let me know by dropping a comment down below. But if you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. And I'll see you again very soon. Thank you so much for watching.